But like Toy Story 2 was amazing. Toy Story 3 kind of was like, I don't know, it's like Godfather 3. It wasn't as good, but it completed everything.
What?
Oh,
Toy Story 3 made
Toy
me
Story
almost...
3 was great.
Like that scene where they thought they were gonna die? I was literally like, Lord!
There's somebody cut the video and showed it to their mom, where the credits start right after like Woody closes his eyes right before he is about to die. And like his mom loses her mind thinking that Pixar did this to her. It's great.
All right, it is Thursday, March the 1st. This is GameEnthus Podcast, episode 336. I'm one of the hosts here, Aaron. Mike is here.
I'm here for one more episode.
We didn't talk about this prior.
I didn't say my last. I'm just here for one more episode.
It's getting awkward now. Tiny, I think, got caught up in some stuff at work, so he may or may not be able to join. But enough about us. We have a guest this week. She's not been on for quite some time. Glad to have her back. Rachel, welcome back to GameEnthus headquarters.
Hi, glad to be here, guys. Super excited.
Good. We like that. Enthusiasm is a good thing. So, what has been going on with you as of late?
Well, I have really kind of settled into my new position at work, and I've been taking like a whole huge hiatus from my channel, like focusing on my new job. And I'm already looking for a new position, so I'm super excited about that. Been absorbed in my PlayStation, but mainly just like YouTube and Netflix. So I haven't really been gaming too much. Those
you
are like
black phone, but just
I know, but it's just this huge black hole of content. You know, every time I finish Stranger Things season 2, and then bam, Black Mirror. You know, it's this never-ending race to consume all of the content that you possibly can.
Okay, I'm glad you mentioned Black Mirror. A coworker was telling a bunch of people that we needed to watch it. I know I do. I guess it's sort of like a Twilight Zone, but every episode I guess is its own contained thing.
Yes, it's a sci-fi anthology. Akin to like Animatrix, like how every episode is completely different and makes you think in the same kind of deep, critical way. It's definitely something that you'll want a friend who's already seen this show to kind of tailor the episode's order to your experiences. Like for you, I don't know you that well, but I would recommend for any gamer to watch White Bear first. You can watch the episodes in any order, so just read the descriptions and whatever like hits you. I mean, you need to watch that episode. But okay. I would recommend you watch White Bear as your first one.
Okay, one of the recommendations they had was to skip the first season, apparently. Just go right into the second season. Now, do you also make that same recommendation, or no?
No, the first season, there are some gems in there. There are some really kind of drawn-out ones, but I think that the first season is a lot more down-to-earth. And after the second season, it America kind of takes over it, and they get a lot more money. And yeah, it looks pretty, but they lose some of that realness that the first season had.
Oh, America.
Watch White Bear. It's great.
You said White Bear?
Yes, White Bear.
Okay. All right, you mentioned your channel. What is your Twitch channel?
My Twitch channel is twitch.tv/Animorph23. So it's off of that old book series, the Animorph books from the 90s.
we talked about that on the show at some point over the years because of my belief of its connection to Transformers. And as it turns out, it was really just the toy line. So
it's nothing like Transformers.
Yeah.
I would actually say it's more akin to Power Rangers as far as like the setup and the structure of it is a lot more like Power Rangers.
But it's like the kids turn into animals or something, right?
Yeah, like are they fighting crime or something, or
they're fighting an alien species that are like the body snatchers. Like you don't know who's an alien and who's not, and they have their one weapon is that they can turn to any animal that they can touch for 2 hours at a time. But when they turn into those animals, they also get their instincts, which they have to learn how to control. So when they turn into like a shrew, they're all panicked and freaked out. And when they turn into a tiger, you know, they have that predator confidence, that slinky, just innate raw power, all sorts of stuff. You learn a lot, but it gets pretty gruesome. Like in book 2, somebody's getting sawed in half from an ant because they mistakenly think that they can take an ant from one place, morph it in another place, and the ants attack them and start ripping them apart.
This is for children, right?
Yes, it is so deep. At some point, one guy gets tortured by experience. They capture him and make him experience the best pleasure ever, and then they flip it on him and make him experience pure pain. And they just do that back and forth for a few days, and they basically break him mentally. There's a whole bunch of stuff. It's really deep. It's my favorite book series. But my Twitch channel
sounds like one of the Hellraiser sequels.
Yeah, that doesn't
or something.
sound. Yeah, that's some Cenobite type stuff right there. And I've seen, you know, I in the 90s, I had kind of aged past a lot of this stuff, so I only know about it. Well, anyway, I've seen the covers. Thinking about how goofy some of those covers look, I would have never thought that somebody would be getting tortured in one of these books.
Yeah, body parts are ripping, guts coming out, all sorts of stuff. And then, of course, they're kids, you know, and they're dealing with having to deal with becoming war heroes, secret war heroes, and having to deal with what adults deal with when going to war and not being able to talk to anybody about it. That's really, and you're reading it from their perspective. Each book is from the kid on the cover. That's the perspective that you're reading it in. So you get like different situations read from different people's personalities. It's a really great series. But my Twitch channel is Animorph23, so.
Wow. It seems a lot more interesting now. Like I'm just like, okay, maybe there's something here. I'm not gonna read it now, but just like, I don't know. Wow.
It's good. I mean, you can get through a book a day now because they're like cute little bite-sized books, but they're really intense.
And Timmy's head
they're only like
right off.
They're 4 pages, but 3 of the pages are about torture.
He didn't make it on the last page. Dang.
It's pretty crazy.
All right, so
I learned about sorry, go ahead.
No, please. Go.
Oh, I was saying I learned about Xbox One exclusives because my roommate had an Xbox One and he just kind of had it in his room the entire time, and about 90% of everything in the apartment is all belongs to me. So everybody normally just keeps their stuff in their room and I just kind of play everywhere. But he brought out his Xbox One and started playing Dead by Daylight, and I seriously thought that it was like an old school horror movie. I was like, the graphics are really bad. Maybe this is a video game. I'm not really sure. Maybe we're watching a cutscene. I don't know. But I was seriously going through some crazy jump scares. Have you guys heard of this? Dead by Daylight?
I didn't realize it was an exclusive.
It's not. It's on Steam and PS4 as well.
Oh.
What? Okay,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's okay. It's
they lied to you.
It was a Kickstarted game, I think. I should actually read before I say that for sure.
It was kickstarted by Robert Englund and Kane Hodder.
Well, so the whole thing is, the premise was supposed to be the Friday the 13th game. Before the Friday the 13th game got made, they couldn't get the license, so Jason is like a generic guy with not the same hockey mask, but it's supposed to be Jason Voorhees.
Well, I saw the pig from Saw, and I was instantly hooked.
Yeah, it's a creepier game than the Friday the 13th game is. I didn't really want to play more of it after I played a couple of matches of it.
Yeah, I don't think I can play it, but I like watching it.
I also didn't like the controls. The the layout was strange, and trying to change them was like, oh no, this is worse now. But yeah, like did you watch somebody getting killed?
Yeah. Well, I was watching somebody play as a survivor, and I was like, what is this, like a really crappy Left 4 Dead mod? And then the killer jumped out, and it really was like a jump scare. It freaked me out. And then he was like, oh yeah, and you can play as the killer, so that's another person. I was like, wait, what? Like, this has been tried. This formula has been tried and failed since Left 4 Dead did it successfully, where you play as the enemy. And I hadn't seen a game kind of be successful at it, but that was really fun, at least to watch. I don't know how it is to play, but I was really excited about it.
Well, I guess I'm trying to prod it and see if you can describe exactly how people are killed in the game, because this was the part that turned me off a bit. It was unpleasant to watch.
So there's two ways that you can die. The killer can basically pounce on you and just kill you outright, or they can haul you off and drag you over to this giant hook and throw you up on the hook. The hook impales you, and basically you're stuck there. You can try and struggle to get out, but eventually this giant demon spider comes down and you become a sacrifice to that demon spider thing.
Yeah.
And
it's pretty, yeah.
It's like actually more gruesome than it sounds.
Yeah, like the only reason to struggle at all is if like one of your teammates is close by and can like get you off the hook, because you can't get off on your own, but you have to hammer the button repeatedly, which is very tiring just to try to stay alive, to stave death off. So it's like, if you don't think you're going to get rescued, it's like, you just don't even bother. Just, walk toward the light.
Well, another strategy is to pretend like you are struggling so that the killer hangs around the area, and so your teammates can actually have more time to turn on the generators. If all the generators get turned on, or if 5 of them get turned on, then the door opens and you can get out. Another way to win as a survivor is if you're the last one alive, a trapdoor spawns somewhere on the map and you have to find it. If you find it, then you can just get out on your own.
Mm-hmm. You've either seen and or played a lot of this game.
I didn't play it. I just watched it. But the only reason I didn't play it is because the anxiety I felt from watching the game was way too high.
I play games for fun,
Yeah, I mean, I can. That is a game I could see the appeal of really just watching it for the entertainment value of seeing somebody else play it. But I just normally don't do that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, it makes perfect sense with this one.
And then I found out about Fortnite. I'd never seen it before, but it looks cool. I don't know very much about it. I saw it at PAX, but that was it.
So is it? Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to ask, are we talking about like Fortnite, or Battle Royale Fortnite?
It looked like PUBG, but like that's Monday Night Combat PUBG.
Yeah,
I remember that game.
Royale. Oh, Tiny loved it.
Monday Night Combat?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was basically Unreal, but with like a TF2 type of skin to it. It was great.
I guess the thing I'm trying to understand is I'm hearing that Fortnite's Battle Royale mode is insanely popular, but like that's free. Is the actual game they were charging, is that popular, or just the Battle Royale?
It's nowhere near as popular. I don't know if it's doing well enough for them to maintain it or not, but yeah. I mean, free trumps a lot of things.
Yeah.
For sure. Got that right.
And the last thing that I wanted to mention outside of gaming was I have a boyfriend who has kids, and that's really new for me. I've never had to deal with that before. But the kids are like 8, 12, and 13. And I specifically remember the games and the things that I was watching at 8, 12, and 13. So, and he was kind of raised in like this isolated, super religious lockdown. And now he's trying to show his kids like 80s stuff, but no one's showing them like early 90s, mid 90s stuff. And that's now my job. So
Animorph books for the win.
Kids, Animorph, and Dead by Daylight. Pick one.
But what was cool was just like, I'm in a car with people who have never heard Evanescence, Avril Lavigne, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, you know, and...
To be honest, some of that I can... you might be okay if you never have.
The coolest experience was going on YouTube and basically being just the god of comedy. Like, I'd pull up Dramatic Chipmunk, Sneezing Panda, Chocolate Rain, you know, and they were like, this is the best thing ever. It felt like I was going back in time with an almanac, you know, I knew exactly what they were going to respond to. So if anybody has any like old school viral videos, I mean, Charlie Bit My Finger, I showed them Smosh, I showed them Daniel After Dentist, like all of the old Numa, you know, like just anything. They were just freaking out over it. So
I'm going to raise my hand and admit that many of the things you just mentioned, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I was just kind of waiting for the cat that plays the piano. I know that one.
Yeah, I know Chocolate Rain. I know Tay-Zade, but I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh, that makes me sad. But that's okay. It was amazing for me. Absolutely. Just going back and revisiting like Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger, you know. We were freaking out over that. The Daft Punk song, if you've never heard of it.
Oh, okay. Yes.
I've heard of Daft Punk.
Yeah, I've definitely heard
some
Daft Punk.
things by Daft Punk.
I've heard some sampling of Daft Punk.
Okay, now I'm just getting sad. Move on.
You know, I fully admit to be old.
Yeah, we are kind of old, so yeah. But you know, it'll happen to you.
I'm sure. I don't even know what's popular right now. So
you're on your way. A combination of not knowing what's popular and then showing younger people like what you thought was cool when you were young. Yeah, you're definitely on your way.
Yay.
So I'll tell this little story. So for people who've listened to the show for years, not exactly shocking, but my wife and I went to a Gin Blossom concert.
Okay, this is number what?
Oh, Lord only knows, but you know, somewhere in the 40 range, I guess. I don't know.
Do you ever like think, what if we bought tickets to another group that we like?
Well, we do that too.
Okay.
They just, you know,
you don't like them as much, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on how far and how much and what day of the week and so on and so on. But so like one of the things, not that this was like the only reason we would have gone or anything, but one of the things that a lot of bands have been doing over the last few years is they'll take the debut album or the first album that was a hit and play the entire album in order, the same as if you were listening to it at home. So that was the tour they were doing, and they played the first like legit record. I mean, they had put out something before it that was, you know, super low print indie label thing, whatever. That didn't count. But anyway, so we went to the show, had a good time, whatever. It was at the Maryland Live Casino in Arundel Mills, and
that's close.
So it's close. It, you know, like that wasn't a problem and everything. But you know, so the show was over, and it was like right in the casino. So figured, we'll hang out, whatever. Heard that there was
they were standing on the Russian roulette table.
Russian roulette.
Wow.
I don't know. They don't have that there.
Otherwise, I meant roulette. Otherwise,
Russian roulette. How much chips do you have to put down for that?
All of them.
Yeah, that's a reason enough not to play.
I don't know why I said that.
I will say, maybe as an aside, not that this was actually originally part of my story, but I noticed that they had a very high resolution Simpsons slot machine there, like a row of them. So I figured, whatever, I'll try it out. It wasn't fun. It was like one of those ones where you really can't tell what you're even rooting for. Like, I even read all the rules, and I'm just like, all right, that looks like what? The whole screen is filled with the same character, and it said I didn't even win a nickel, so I don't know. So that I don't recommend.
Why didn't they theme it like game. Mr. Burns' Casino?
Oh my goodness!
Would that have made the most sense?
It might have, but now it was like most of the main characters from the show like wearing tuxedos. It was strange. I don't recommend it. Anyway, so the point, the story as I'm getting to is, we hung around the casino for a while because there was another like just local group playing some covers at the bar, and I was like, okay, we'll go listen to them for a while, and they were pretty entertaining. So while we're sitting there, and we were with a group of some other people, and this older gentleman, I'll call him a gentleman for now, but he doesn't deserve the title.
Wow.
Okay.
Clearly drunk, stumbles over and starts like kind of jamming out with us to the thing that's playing. Kind of just like throwing his arm over our shoulders and singing along and whatever.
Yeah, I don't know you like that, man.
Yeah. Kind of.
Hey,
but
when you're drunk, everyone knows you like that.
Yeah, well, he wasn't the only one who'd had a few drinks, so it wasn't exactly like instantly uncomfortable. But
Right.
So in between one of the songs, he kind of introduced himself and he says, "Yeah, they call me Bono." And I said,
"All right, okay."
You mean like the guy from U2? And he's like, "Yeah, I love U2."
Whatever you say, guy.
And I was like, "Okay, all right." And he says, "What are you drinking? What are you drinking? What he's asking?" And he says, "I'm buying around for everybody." So he orders up, whatever. Like, I don't think he even really paid any attention to what anybody said, but he just ordered a drink for everybody sitting there.
Wow.
And the bartender comes and lays all the drinks out, and he hands over his card, and she comes back like a minute or two later, and she says, "Yeah, we tried your card like 3 times. It was declined." He's like, "What?
Oh boy.
I got $100,000 in this account."
Yep.
Well, not that much, but enough to cover these drinks. And,
oh man.
And he says, "Try it again." So she takes it back one more time and runs the thing, whatever. And meanwhile, he's just kind of flailing about, whatever. And security winds up coming over and taking him aside. And they're like, "Your card's no good. This isn't." And so he takes, I don't know what's being said once they kind of take him away. But like they kind of take him away and take him back, and then they take him away again. And so it's like this weird sort of thing. But in the end, they hauled him out of the place, and we got to keep the drinks for free. So, I mean, at the end, it was...
maybe he really was Bono.
Editing mistake in my favor in that instance. But, so, yeah, maybe he didn't look anything like Bono.
What? Do you know what Bono looks like, though?
Well, not behind the glasses, I don't.
Yeah, I don't know what... I just know he's some white guy with glasses. That's kind of all I know.
The
Always
are
wears
actually
glasses
part of his skin.
Yeah, they grafted on. So, but anyway, that was just some stupid story that occurred while we were out. But anyway, yeah, that's about it for anything I had to tell. So, what's been going on with you since the last show, Aaron?
Let's see. We saw Black Panther again. My wife saw it 3 times. That was my second, and the 11-year-old saw it again. And then my wife said today, when the oldest comes back for spring break, apparently we're all going to see it again. I'm like, cool. And that made the 8-year-old happy because she had not seen it at all. And I told her, if you say it out loud that we're taking her to see this movie, then either we take her or we hear about the fact that we have not taken her for the rest of our lives. So we're committing. We're committing to something. So I don't know what that is. So yeah, it's still fantastic. Yeah, I'll gladly go see it for a 3rd time. So yeah.
Oh man, yeah, it's great.
Have you seen it?
I've seen parts of it. I haven't seen the full thing yet. I've kind of been movie hopping it. Okay.
When you say parts, like somebody brought a bootleg over, like how do you see part? Like you pay for a ticket, you walked out.
You pay for the ticket, and you go and look at little bits of all the movies. So then, when you pay for the next ticket, you know which movie you want to see. That's what me and my friends do. We buy one ticket for any movie at any time, and then from there we go into each of the theaters and watch 15 to 20 minutes of whatever movie is playing in that theater.
Really?
Does that make sense? Yeah, we just movie hop. And then when we buy
I always thought movie hopping was you buy a ticket for a movie, you go to a full movie, walk out and walk to another theater and watch a whole other full movie.
We watch like bits and pieces of every movie, and then we're gonna buy another ticket and see it. I think the reason why a lot of us didn't want to go see it, on opening weekend because we were scared somebody was gonna attack the theater. That was like
that thought did cross my mind.
I could understand that. Yeah.
I'm like,
I hadn't heard about that actually happening anywhere though.
I mean,
it didn't happen. I was happy.
Oh, did it not happen? It like broke records stuff like.
Yeah.
People just didn't talk about it, but yeah. So.
But I live in Texas. I just didn't want to take a chance. You know, a bunch of people together in dashikis. I didn't want to make any waves, and unfortunately, that's the world we live in. So. I'm going to be seeing it this weekend, though.
Will you be wearing a dashiki when you go see it?
That's not my heritage, but I don't know. I might break one out. Or I have like a zebra pattern dress that I can wear. Or my Nala cosplay. I have a Nala outfit I have.
I just wore jeans and a shirt, but I did see a lot of hats. I mean, a lot of people came like, for real. I was like, all right, that's cool. I'm going to rock these jeans, but that, do you?
You could have done the Coming to America Prince. What's his name?
I definitely saw
just Prince Akeem.
Yeah, I saw some folks looking like they were from Zamunda, which doesn't actually exist, but yes, yep, it was yep, good times. So definitely a enjoyable experience. What else? Been watching a lot of Simpsons World lately.
What is Simpsons World?
Oh, it's just if you go to the FX Now app, the Simpsons World is every episode. I just started off with episode 1, and I'm trying to see how.
So
go ahead.
You're just rewatching the stuff.
Yeah,
you know that.
I'm loving it.
Oh, okay.
I'm on season 5.
You be able to get through it? Like, I don't think you'll be able to get through it. As you watch, more episodes are going to come out, and it'll just be this never-ending cycle.
No, I haven't actively watched the show in over 10 years. Because it got, it wasn't good for a very long time, and I just gave up. So I really want to see how far I'll go. Because I honestly don't know.
I got farther than I expected to. I everybody says basically up to season 10 is like, where the golden stuff
10,
is.
11, and then it's like...
I bought all of the DVD sets as they came out, and I figured I'd stop at 10. And I don't mean up to now. I figured I'd stop at 10. I wound up buying 11. I never bought any since, but after that, since they did the Every Simpsons Ever thing, FXX, and they're always running the things, and I just set the TiVo up to record. I had finished season 12, so 13 and beyond, and it really just filled the whole thing up. But I've been watching seasons 13, 14. I'm into 15 now. I'm still enjoying most of the episodes. So that's up till 2003. So we're still talking 15 years ago.
Yeah, I think I gave up around 03, 04.
So once I get beyond that time frame, like what you're talking about, then I'm wondering if I'll keep up with it. But I got about 200 episodes on the saved up to peruse.
How much space does it take up on a DVR?
A significant portion.
So just go to Simpsons World. Like, why even do that?
I used to do that on the Xbox. I found the app to be less than enticing.
It's better. It was horrible.
Oh, is it better? Okay.
It's better now. Because I remember I was doing it years ago and I stopped because I just can't do this anymore. I don't hate myself this much. I stopped doing
I don't think I've ever seen 2 Simpsons episodes in a row. I think
Really?
I just grew up catching it on TV and finishing whatever episode was there, and then it would switch to another show. So I've never like sat down and watched Simpsons. The biggest thing that I remember is that somebody was trying to kill Bart. Like
Sideshow Bob, probably.
Yeah, that was like the most terrifying thing for me as a child watching that. Because I thought it was just like, you know, SpongeBob, but with people. And then it's like, no, this person is really trying to kill somebody.
SpongeBob, but with people.
Yeah. And you're yellow, so that's how my kid brain operated.
They made a game on the PC that was basically the whole premise was Sideshow Bob is the final boss. Bart's House of Weirdness, it was called. And it was you remember that it was a side scroller sort of shooter, but you had very limited ammo. And then Sideshow Bob was the final boss. It was kind of cool. I wouldn't play it today.
Did that come out after Virtual Bart? It sounds like it did.
I don't remember. It definitely came out after like Bart versus Space Mutants.
I did the Simpsons Road Rage where you play as like Homer and you can put on a muumuu and kind of like GTA around town. That was fun.
That was the crazy. No, which one? Road Rage was the crazy taxi one. The Hit and Run was the Grand Theft Auto one, right?
That sounds right. Yeah, which is funny because that came out after the episode where Bart was playing the arcade game Halloween Hit and Run.
Well, they were inspired.
And that game was nothing like a GTA game. It was just, hey, drive over trick-or-treaters. Like, this is awful. And then there was that one I sent you, I texted you the other day. That was from season 15. The hockey murder simulator, where I forget what they actually called it, but the father of the kid's hockey game comes down and murders the other father on the ice. It's just, wow, this is something.
Yeah.
Very strangely, morbidly serious.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I thought it was just kind of goofy, and then, you know, oh yeah, sure, he wants to kill Bart, sure, whatever. And then it's like, wait, no, he's really trying to kill him, and now I'm scared. Now I'm having nightmares.
Yeah, there's also Bart's Nightmare. That's also another game that you could play if you hate yourself enough.
Yeah. There aren't too many good Simpsons games.
No. Well, the arcade game that everybody said that they loved, and I want to play it again. Then it comes out again. This isn't any good. Like, it's an arcade game.
Well, it's also like, at the time, they had about 4 characters to work with, so most of the guys you're beating up are like generic, hey, I've never seen that guy before. There's
Dr. Marvin Monroe. All right, great.
He's been dead for 25 years now.
Oh my god. I remember the Inside the Actor studio for The Simpsons, where they had all of the voice actors on stage at once, and there was only like 8 of them. You know, I was like, wait, you guys are all of the characters on The Simpsons? That's insane.
I mean, Hank Azaria did like half the voices.
So,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. What else? You all heard of Utomik before? Utomik. It's a subscription service for PC games. So they sent me a 3-month code.
Oh, like Gametap?
Something like that. Yeah, that's very analogous. Gametap. I've not thought about
it. Is it a magazine?
No, it's a digital service that you can. It's like a Netflix, but you can.
Oh, it's like GameFly.
No, but it's all digital. Like you pay every month, and then there's a library of games that just gets bigger that you can download and just play the full game. It's like Game Pass for Xbox, sort of.
Gotcha. Okay, that's cool.
But it came out prior. I think it's like $5 or maybe, and they just added like Fury. What's that 2.5D Batman Arkham game that I kind of did want to play?
Oh, BlackGate or something.
Yeah, I wanted to finish that.
That was good.
That, right? Yeah,
I like that a lot. Except for the bugs,
really
it had some major bugs in it. But anyway,
yeah, but it's not bad. I mean, there's some stuff on there that's not like...
It's PC games only, or what?
It's just, PC games. But a lot of those games are available on console as well, but it's just the PC version of it. It's not that bad. You know, price seems alright.
Yeah, $9 a month is
Oh, it is okay. It is 10. Okay, that sounds right. So
$8.99 per month for one user.
Not bad. Oh, and then this is just a funny aside. So the 8-year-old got a Black History project for school, and they had to just the teacher had a list of names, and everybody on the list was somebody from Maryland. So she picked a guy named Ty Lawson. So she said, "Dad, I need to look up Ty Lawson, do this project." I'm like, "All right, it's cool." So we look him up. And I'm looking at, I go to his Wikipedia page and other things. So he played college ball. He went into the NBA, and then I think he plays like in China now, or he was playing in China a couple of years ago. So I'm thinking, okay, well, I said, did the teacher say like what were the qualifications, or outside of people just living in Maryland, what put them on the list? She said, "Oh no, I think it was just because they all lived in Maryland." I was like, "Oh, okay." And I'm scrolling down. I'm like, I see like a DUI. It's like domestic violence. I'm just like, wait, what? Like what?
And I'm not. They're like pretty slim pickings. Is this? Well,
yeah, I was kind of like, you kind of thinking there's a lot of other people doing some really good things who live in Maryland, but I get like she got the list from someone else, and I get it. But so I sent her an email. I was just like, I'm not saying somebody having some issues with the law should completely disqualify them from children learning. Not at all. But I'm like, usually that's balanced with the person having done something significant. Like, am I downplaying playing college ball, going to the NBA? No, but I didn't understand how that qualified as like, why should, like,
I mean, was it only a list of people who are like alive and actively doing something or another, or is it like
just people who apparently lived in Maryland at some point, or born in Maryland, or lived in the county, and
I guess or drove through and paid the toll at the tunnel,
and happened to have a Wikipedia page. So,
so that's the first qualification. Are they on Wikipedia or not?
So I emailed her. I was like, so I'm just curious, like, what was the deal? She said, well, the children there was a list and they picked, and your daughter picked Ty Lawson. I said, all right, cool. So then my wife happened to be doing a professional development thing. She's a reading specialist for teachers in the county, and it just so happens that our youngest teacher was one of the people there. So she happened to get into a discussion with her about the fact that I emailed her about it, and it is funny because I'm always getting on the kids because I really want one of them, and it gotta be Black History. It could be any time to do a project on Gerald Lawson, who was credited with inventing. He was the person who made the first home console, the Fairchild Channel F, with interchangeable cartridges. He's also Black.
Wow, cool.
So I'm always trying to get them to do a project on him. So my wife spoke with the teacher, and apparently she said, "Oh, well, she could do a project on Gerald Lawson for extra credit." So I'm like, great. So one down, two to go. See, my oldest is in college. I'm thinking you could do something on Gerald Lawson. People need to know. So.
Didn't he passed away like a couple years ago, right?
2011 or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, that long? Okay.
Yeah, he had diabetes, and he had some complications and things. But so I thought it was interesting. I'm hoping that, like, I don't know who the other names on the list were, but I just kept reading, like, what did this guy do that she needs to be learning about? Like, he played ball and got arrested for, like, maybe smacking his girlfriend. I don't know. Like,
oh man. Yeah, there's got to be other people.
So, there's plenty, but I get it. Like, she needed a list of people, and she got a list that she figured was vetted or whatever. I wasn't blaming her. I was just curious, like, how did we get to this point? Like, what are we doing? And I got my answer, and so at least one of my children will do a project on Gerald Lawson. I look forward to that, because then I get to give her some cartridges to bring in, like, as an example, just like, hey, this is interchangeable cartridges. This is a system that it's not decent. I don't have a Fairchild Channel F because I just don't have one. Nor do I have cartridges for it. I thought I could have purchased some at some point, but that's not the point.
And I'm assuming because you didn't mention it that these two men are not related.
No, not at all. I just happened to say to my wife at home, like, how come she can do something on Gerald Lawson? You know, just the fact that Lawson and Lawson. I'm just like, so of course the 11-year-old look at me like, here you go about Gerald Lawson again. So I'm always talking about Gerald Lawson because every time they have a project, I'm like, is there any way you can incorporate Gerald Lawson? They're like, no, Dad, no. Come on, what are we doing here? So, you know, a father can try.
Well, anybody but George Washington Carver. I'm so tired of seeing kids do reports on him.
Yeah, it's time. That's exactly like, and it's not that. And if you don't know about him, you should know. But there are a lot of people that people aren't talking. Like, I'm glad that Garrett A. Morgan was somebody that the 11-year-old was doing something on, because he invents a lot of really good stuff. The traffic light. I mean, that, you know what that is.
Right,
you see, you know, these are things that people really don't know about. So.
Right, but we just need to kind of get kids away from the... I don't even want to... They're not scapegoats. They're just, like, the most common people to do reports on, like Frederick Douglass and George Washington Carver. Like, every year, teachers are probably tired of seeing their names.
Like, the last, like, 3 kids do presentations are all on the same person. It's like, really? Really?
All in a row. Like, the whole class gets up one at a time and gives the exact same presentation. They all just read the page off of Wikipedia.
They just hand it to one another as they come up.
They only need one printout.
We save paper that way. You're fired. Go to the office.
Get out. Just get out.
Yeah, so. Yeah. Gotta expand those horizons.
Hey, what's up, GameEnthus crew? How are you guys doing? This is Keon. I just had a really quick question for you guys. Now, of course, what I'm about to ask you guys is strictly based off of a rumor, and it's been a boatload of them coming out of the Microsoft side. So the latest rumor is going around that, of course, is not confirmed, but it's out there, is that Microsoft could possibly be buying Sega. I mean, Microsoft's buying everybody, according to all of these different rumors. I mean, they're buying Valve, they're buying EA, they're buying Plug Corp, I mean, whatever. So this is just the latest one out there as far as the rumor mill goes. But my question to you guys is, do you think that that would be a good buy? I mean, I think it would be excellent. I don't think it's necessarily true, but I will say this. Sega does have an amazing amount of IPs that have been dormant for quite some time. I would love to see a new Power Stone. I would love, and you know what? Actually, I didn't know this until, just a few months ago. And maybe you guys have played this game. Hopefully you have, because I would love to get some impressions on it if you have played it. But the game Yakuza is a game made by Sega. I didn't know that until a couple of months ago. And this game looks almost like a Shenmue type of game, and I'm very interested in it because about 3 months ago, I saw this Fist of the North Star game that's actually being made by Sega, but I'm going to have to import it. But it looks just like the anime. It looks amazing. So after finding out they worked on that, and they have the Yakuza games, that's my question. Do you think this would be a good buy for Microsoft, and do you think it could happen? That's the bigger question. Thank you guys for the platform of always letting your listeners just call in and ask you guys questions. It's greatly appreciated. And with that being said, guys, I hope you guys take care and have a good one. Sorry for the long message. Bye-bye.
Keon, never apologize for leaving a voicemail. We appreciate every single one that you leave. Rachel, I'll start off with you. What do you think? Do you think it's possible for Microsoft to be buying Sega?
I really don't think so. As far as Sega goes, they're really friendly with other game developers and other game companies. I mean, look at Bayonetta on the Switch. You got Hatsune Miku all over Sony. You've got Sonic everywhere it could possibly be. And then, of course, Sega's the type of company that appeals to or tries to appeal to everybody's better nature. And Microsoft hasn't really been doing anything but restricting their demographic, and they're not very creative when it comes to original IPs. I don't know. I really want Microsoft to come up with their own IPs and start rotating some things around instead of just having Gears of War, Forza, and Halo. I really want them to do something different, and I don't think that this is, if they are going to do it, I don't think it's the right direction for them.
Wow. That was harsh, man.
I'm sorry.
I mean, they're out there, slanging these consoles, man, trying to make this thing work, and here you come. Hey,
I don't think they're not appealing to the portable gaming market. They've never tried. They're not appealing.
I don't blame them.
I mean,
Sony's attempts. Yeah.
Portable. Nobody's gonna. I mean, especially now, who's gonna bother to compete at this point?
I mean, but and they, as far as Microsoft goes, they don't appeal to a diverse. They don't have a diverse gaming fan group. They have what we used to call. I used to work at GameStop. We used to call them Gramers. They, short khaki pants, flip flops, hat backwards. Their favorite game is Madden. That's Microsoft's demographic, and they've never really expanded to get a more diverse demographic, in my opinion. I mean, you've got just looking at Microsoft, Gears of War, Halo, Forza. That's all they got.
Those are like clockwork, and it's not exciting.
Sony could have done the same thing, but I mean, we're not looking. I mean, I guess granted, we still are looking at another God of War, another Tomb Raider, but we also have new stuff coming out from Sony as well, new IPs. They're attempting to do new things. Nintendo doesn't really need to do new things because they've struck gold and they haven't run dry yet. But Microsoft needs, I don't know, they're just kind of tired, in my opinion. And I don't think that grabbing Sega, they're just so diverse, and I don't see Microsoft making any changes that would be good for Sega or themselves.
I mean, they could make a Sonic game worse. I mean, if that's
another Sonic 06.
I'm just saying, like Sonic 06 HD, remastered. That's what we all want that. We're not saying it out loud. We wouldn't dare. We all want that, though. No. Okay.
I mean, maybe they'll put Football Manager with Madden or something. I don't know. I really don't think that this would be a good move for either company. I think Sega is good doing what they're doing. Now, it would be different if Sega was buying Microsoft somehow, or Xbox.
Okay, what if we sell our blood that we'll have in the future? Could you? Okay, could we afford it then?
I would love to see another I would love to see Sega make an attempt at pushing Xbox out of the big three and taking over, or taking up a spot in the hardware.
Well, I mean, it maybe if Satya Nadella had come in and, like the rumors were, swirling around, maybe them spinning off the Microsoft division, maybe they could afford like that piece. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I think Sega's as likely to do it as Atari or Coleco at this point.
Hey, let me tell you, man, Atari has sold at least 157 of those Bluetooth hats. they on their way.
Did they actually make them?
I'm pretty sure.
I thought it was all a concept deal, and then they're like,
you can actually spend $150 on crabby Bluetooth speakers and a hat.
I mean, if they were at Five Below, I would buy it just for the novelty.
Oh yeah, because it's $5.
Right? You put your own double A's in the thing. There's a cord that trickles down from your forehead down to wherever you plug your phone in. I can make this work. Well, by the way, it's not actually Bluetooth. It's just the 3.5 millimeter.
I just don't see it being a good buy either way.
I don't either. I think unless they have a real plan of what they're going to do.
I mean, Microsoft Studios themselves has not really done anything that's wowed me for more than 2 games.
Well, you have a tattoo of Recore, so I mean, I figure that's you were in like Flynn. I don't know.
Definitely not.
I feel like the ironic thing about all this is in the earliest days of the Xbox, there were tons of Sega exclusives on it. I mean, you had the Panzer Dragoon Orta, the Jet Set Radio Future, Gun Valkyrie, Sega GT, I like it was almost as if the original Xbox was the sequel to the Dreamcast.
It was.
And then they just sort of parted ways when it came to exclusivity, and now the idea seems not like at the time it might have been like, okay, this could be like a reasonable match. Like they seem to be friendly and working well together and everything, but yeah, now I don't know, there doesn't seem to be much. It's like almost like an ex-girlfriend or something. Like I don't like the connection isn't there anymore. But at the same time, if Microsoft needs something, it might make sense for them. Not sure it makes a whole lot of sense for Sega unless executives want to get a payload and then retire and then probably produce no games because they
like an ex-girlfriend with a weird blue spiky kid that you don't know what to do with. I will say, if it does happen, I want Sonic on Kinect. That's like my dream.
Well, that's not going to happen because they got it.
Yeah, Kinect is so dead now.
They put a bullet in it. I still, my Kinect. I mean, I hope that that cable, the adapters don't break or anything, because my Kinect gets
stock up
a lot of use. I mean,
with how expensive they are now, it's just crazy. But I did find some people on eBay, so I don't know how to like.
You never know when Peter Molyneux is going to come out with something. So,
the journey to flail your way to victory.
But apparently, there are some folks who will, for a fee, of course, modify your Kinect device so that it will kind of incorporate the adapter in. It's got like its own, like you need to plug in a separate AC power adapter, but it'll natively do USB out. What's that?
You said USB?
Well, right. It's in lieu of the adapter. They just modify the Kinect to work as if it had one, and it. From the pictures I saw, it seemed like a cleaner option than the mess of wires that the adapter is.
People do like clean things. That is true. I don't know why.
Clean faces mod.
Clean shaven. I don't know.
God.
What's up, GameEnthus crew? This is Keon. I just wanted to give you guys a call just for an update. I was asking you guys before about Microsoft buying Sega. Was that possible? I mean, like I said, they're supposed to be buying everybody, including Apple. At this point, I mean, of course, that last part was just a joke, bad joke, by the way. But it's actually been an update in that story that says that they could be possibly, as far as the situation with Sega goes, they could be getting Vanquish 2 as an exclusive on the Xbox One platform. So that's exactly where it's at. I got to tell you guys, Vanquish was amazing. Very underrated game. I did play it, very fast-paced. I mean, when I say I think it was an original idea, I know that it technically might not have been, but the way that you boosted around and the fast quickness of the game was pretty amazing. So I think this would be awesome if it's true. So my question is, do you guys think this could give Microsoft some traction if, and it's a big if the rumor is true? Guys, as always, man, oh man, really appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for all of the hard work, and you guys take care and have a good day. Bye-bye.
Okay, I just have one question. Is that a pepper mill that I hear in the background?
Yes, it is.
All right.
Wow.
It sounds like a pepper mill. So, anyway, all right. So, Rachel, you first. Vanquish.
I never played Vanquish. I have seen very small seconds of it, just now looking it up, and I don't think that, if anything, it would be too similar to Crackdown, just from what I'm seeing.
Oh, it's a very different beast.
Okay.
I'll put it like this. Have you ever smoked a cigarette before?
No.
Okay. So I'm assuming you never smoked a cigarette with a helmet on. The same time.
Oh my god.
That is no, because the character in Vanquish, he's always smoking a cigarette. Even with his helmet goes on, he's always smoking a cigarette. And think about it, you slide, like you do this thing where you just like kind of aim, you just slide on the ground. Like, it's really cool. It's very stylish. It's also kind of, if Bayonetta is not a household name, then like think about like more people know about Bayonetta than they do Vanquish. And how many people who don't play games like that? True. Know about Bayonetta. Not that many. So you take that and like chop it in half, and then you got Vanquish. In terms of like the name cachet.
To some degree, you're correct about that even from the initial release. But the fact that there's already been a sequel, it's a Nintendo exclusive. They're promoting the character with amiibos and stuff. Like there's reason why
cosplay as her as well.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
I don't think too many people are cosplaying as a dude smoking a cigarette inside of a closed helmet. Of course, you do get the maximum amount of tar in your lungs that way, so you're really getting your best bang for your buck.
I really don't think that this game would give them any traction.
No, it won't.
It's not known enough. At least I remember seeing this on the shelves all the time because it was generally near the end of the shelves in alphabetical order. But that's literally all I know about it.
It does help that they recently redid it for Steam.
That helps
a little bit.
I mean, locking the idea of what they're trying to do makes sense. But I mean, you want to go and get a Vanquish, but then you want to go and get like Capcom to make an HD version, 4K version of Asura's Wrath. I mean, you got to go. And that's even less popular than Vanquish. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's what they need to do. They need to go to some of these developers who have left these games like on the wayside and just say, gather up a bunch of them, and they're all exclusive either for like a year or for perpetuity, because it's too late. Like,
I just think getting some of that old stuff, it's not going to pay dividends.
No, yeah. Well, at the same time, I mean, Rachel, to your point about new IP, I mean, of course, I'm sure they would love to have 5 to 6 new IPs to be able to rotate 2 of them in and out every other year, but it takes so much time that they didn't. That wasn't a priority to them. I feel like they came into the generation very cocky, figuring that, well, third-party exclusives will just lock that in. But then when the sales weren't there, you couldn't rely on that unless you put forth a ridiculous amount of money. So now
Sony has a bunch of IPs that are all, unique and different.
Yeah.
And, you got Crash Bandicoot, Jak and Daxter, Little Big Planet, the Sucker Punch stuff, Sly Cooper, Infamous.
Yeah.
They constantly come out with new stuff, and it's all different, and everybody can relate to it. And again, we still have the same 4 IPs from Microsoft, and Microsoft's trying to do what Nintendo does. And hey, Halo is not as good as Mario as far as longevity. You just can't keep rehashing it.
No, I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. I'm hoping. I don't know.
Yeah. All of that's true. I think Microsoft they lost on a few of the bets they made, like Sunset Overdrive, the collaboration they had with Insomniac. It just didn't sell as well as they would have liked. Recore just turned out to be not as good of a game. And
then they put it back out, and they put out a finished version. People then moved on. I moved on. I tried to go back. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
I haven't even touched it. I will at least look at it again at some point. But who knows if I'm going to play through it. But like Scalebound, they thought that was going to be a big thing. It turned out to be so bad they killed it before they even finished making it.
And then everybody talked about how much they loved it and wanted it. It's like, you didn't seem that excited until they told you it was canceled. But that's just me.
Yeah.
Well, now it's just that increases like the rare mystique about it all. Like people wanting to get a hold of Stadium events. It's like, you don't want to play this. You just want to be the person that says, I own a copy of this piece of trash.
That's what life is about.
I think that Microsoft needs to not invest in full-on game developers, and they need to focus on their studios that they've got. They're only making games themselves. As far as first-party content goes, they don't have anybody making games for them. Like, Sony has Naughty Dog, Santa Monica Studio, Sucker Punch, and I think there's a couple
Team
more.
Eco,
I can't remember.
I mean, the list goes on.
They Microsoft needs to invest in studios, people who will be first-party content makers for them, because they're trying to do it by Nintendo's model and make all their games themselves, and they're not that kid. They're not that creative kid.
Well, they are in the AAA space, they are, but in the indie space, I mean, Cuphead obviously was successful. They have a sequel to Ori and the Blind Forest. Like, they've done well in terms of some of the indie stuff. Like, getting some of these games as console exclusive, because a lot of them on PC too. I mean, on Steam.
Yeah,
they've done
but
well
those weren't first party though.
Yeah, but they don't need to be though. I just mean like they are console exclusives. They don't necessarily need to be. I know second party technically doesn't exist, but they're games that Microsoft clearly put some money into and locked in an exclusive for it, and it did well for them. I mean, Sony doesn't own Sucker Punch, but they have relationships such that they're putting their games out for them, and they do very well. And they're going to have to... That's all they really can do at this point. And to me, that's a lot... I guess the dividends for that will pay a lot more than, I think, latching onto a Vanquish exclusive that, like, let's be honest, like 8,000 people are excited about.
That's enough. That's all you need.
Well, if they all pay $500,000, per copy, then sure, yes, then they're all set.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing Microsoft got going for them that's like close to what's being described here is Rare, and with Sea of Thieves about to be released. I mean, it all depends on how well it does, but like this is the company that they bought this a long time ago now, and like this is the new IP. This is the thing they're putting out, and it, like, to me, I like to think of it because it's the most exciting thing that Microsoft's put out in a while, and I'm very interested in seeing where it goes. But the proof's in the pudding as far as like whether it sells, whether people like it once they see the whole thing or not. So wait and see.
We shall see. All right, now there's one more voicemail.
All right, you got it.
What's going on, GameEnthus crew? This is 004 on Twitter, aka Tyrone. It's been several years since I decided to leave a voicemail, and a while since I've been on the show, but just wanted to drop a line. I just finished listening to episode 335. I see you guys are still doing the excellent work there. And surprisingly, I decided to go ahead and listen on YouTube. So that was great. Enjoyed that. Glad you guys are still uploading there, even though, as Aaron said, it's not currently monetized. Just, again, thoroughly enjoyed the show. Video gamer from shame she had to go off early. Y'all got to have her back on again. She was really interested. And I guess my only question for you guys is, as you guys have been, just talking about different stuff, I know y'all mentioned MCU last show. As far as video game movies coming out, I know Tomb Raider is getting rebooted. I wanted to know your thoughts on that. And also, I just wanted to tell you guys, just keep up the great work. Love the show. And hopefully I can get back on there sometime. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. All right, guys, have a good one. And keep up the great work on the show. One.
Well, thank you, Tyrone, for leaving a voicemail. It's definitely good to hear from you. It was a pleasant surprise that you left a voicemail. Yeah, the Tomb Raider movie coming out this month, March.
Yep.
Rachel, are you excited? Do you have a ticket already?
I'm very excited.
Do you have a tattoo?
No tattoo.
Okay.
But I'm very excited about this one. And I'll tell you why. Because I know that the World of Warcraft, the Warcraft movie, I don't know what happened to that. It seems like it came out and nobody said anything about it, so I don't think it was that good.
I don't think it ever came out. I think they just canceled it entirely. They're like, you know what, forget about it. We don't want it.
But as making movies of video games is not an uncommon thing back in the day, but it was a lot more difficult to do. Like the Mortal Kombat movie was endearingly awful. But as games nowadays have become more cinematic, more cohesive story-wise, stronger, less tree-like ways that the story could go, like Last of Us, Uncharted, pretty much everything from Naughty Dog, essentially. It's becoming more and more easy to make a movie off of those and do it successfully. You either have a game like Last of Us, where you have a very concise, cohesive story to follow, or you have a game that's popular but so ambiguously so that you really can just throw the theme in there. Like, if you wanted to do a Dark Souls movie, you could totally do a Dark Souls movie with very little effort just by putting the feel and the theme of the video game in a movie, and you could call it a Dark Souls movie.
And making people watch parts of it over and over again until they get good.
Yes, you must memorize the lines before you get to the next scene. But yeah, I think that this will be very good. This is one of those you can't really mess up ones. I don't really see a way that they could mess up. Lara has so many different origin stories that I've heard and seen, and I don't really think that there's a right or wrong way to do it. I think that if they can execute the theme of it and the feel of exploration without making it too much like a female Indiana Jones, I think they'll do it right.
Yeah, I'm assuming, did you play the last two games, or at least the first of the reboots?
I'm actually going to be streaming the second one. That's going to be my next game that I'm going to be streaming. Okay. I haven't touched it yet, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean,
I love the first one, though. I played it like 4 times.
Yeah, it's clearly just following that storyline, but so much to a point where I was like, do I need to, like, for multiple reasons, do I need to see this? I don't know, like, do they need my money? I don't know. Is that wrong of me?
I mean, no, that's a legitimate fear that movie makers who are making something off of an already cinematic experience have, because the demographic that you have to sell to are the people who know this story inside and out already. But I think it's the same challenge that people who make comic book movies face. Your demographic is people who know the stories inside and out. So maybe you better make it right. Yeah, you got to make it right, but you have to make it good for people who are not coming from that demographic. So we'll see what happens. I'm fond of the studio who's doing it, so we will see.
What is that I don't know. What's the studio and what else have they done?
It is first off, it's Simon West, who is the director. And Simon West has done The Expendables. He did the original Tomb Raider. Wow. He did the General's Daughter. Nothing really too crazy. Night of the Living Dead, I guess, was the biggest one that he did. But he's not unfamiliar with the Tomb Raider feel. He's done it before, and he's executed fairly well. So I think now that he has an actual cohesive story to follow, he'll be...
Who was the one everybody hated for PS2? They should make a movie out of that one next. Was it Angel of Darkness or whatever?
I like the soundtrack for that game.
It was basically Laura with a leather jacket on, like in a back alley, kicking somebody in the head. It was that. 2 hours of that. Sold! Mike, what are your thoughts?
I'm not keeping tabs on it. Like, I've seen some things and I go, yeah, that looks a lot like that reboot game from a few years ago. I'm not going to go see it in the theater. That doesn't mean I refuse to watch it. Like, if it comes to HBO or something, or Netflix, something that I don't have to pay additional fees for, I would probably watch it. But like, I don't know. If I can't be like pulled to the theater to go see Black Panther, Tomb Raider is not going to do it for me. But I also never saw the Angelina Jolie movies, so And again, not because I like refused to or anything. Just I just never happened, and whatever.
Okay.
Sorry, you said you saw the first one?
I know I saw the first one. I don't remember anything from the second one. That was Cradle of Life, I think.
Sounds right.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Let's see. Goose sent me a message. Apparently he pre-ordered the Duke controller. I guess that's only at GameStop.
The Duke?
Yeah, the original, the OG original Xbox controller, the huge one.
Oh. Though I only play Fable on that. I don't know how to play anything else on that.
I'm sure you can figure it out. This Blink's a Time Sweeper. That's a classic that everybody seems to love.
There's a white and black button. I don't know why there are 6 buttons on the right side, but that alone is too intimidating for me to attempt anything.
Well, look at it this way. There's only one set of buttons on the top, like the triggers. So imagine the white and black button became the left and right bumpers.
But my thumb has to be responsible for 6 buttons, and my thumb's not that smart.
Yeah, and it is in a weird place, to be honest with you. It's in an awkward position. It's like, why did they do this? So, of course, I asked him, I said, are you intending on actually playing games with this, or is it going to sit on your show? Oh, he said, yeah, sitting on the show. I said, all right, cool.
Yeah, the last time I had to control 6 buttons was the N64.
I can't even imagine. Oh, I play that all the time. So, yeah, that's...
I could easily just go grab one of the many Dukes I have out of a box and put that on a shelf if that's all it takes. But I don't need to. I don't think that would look very good on the shelf.
If you say so. All right, Rachel, what games have you been playing?
Oh man! So, as you guys know, the Shadow Colossus remaster came out, and I'm a huge Shadow Colossus fan. That was probably one of the first games that I ever saw credits to on my own without my mom's help. So I've been playing that, and I love Shadow Colossus, and I was going to stream it. Problem is that it has this photo mode, which when I was playing Horizon Zero Dawn, I got tangled up in the photo mode too. But basically, everything's taking me about 4 longer than it normally would because I'm constantly pausing the game and then taking some really intricate, filtered, depth of focus screenshot.
It's a beautiful game, so who could blame you?
So beautiful. I mean, all my wallpapers are now screenshots that I've taken on my work computer, my home computer, and on my phone. They're all Shadow Colossus screenshots that I've taken at high moments in my gameplay, and I absolutely love it. I'm hoping to beat it. The other game I've been playing was kind of the one that got me back into gaming. It's not like I fell out of it, but like I said, life hit. I started playing Celeste on the Switch, which is this really cool platforming game. It is just difficult enough for you to still be entertained. You can bang your head on it for hours and still come back for more.
Let me ask you a question. Do you find yourself walking into a room in that game, like frequently, and saying, there's no way I can make it through this?
See, that was how I first did. Okay, so I don't know how far you've gotten, but when I got to the hotel, that was when I had those moments. After the hotel, I was like, there's nothing else that this game could possibly throw at me. I'm good. I can do this.
Okay, I passed the hotel.
It was more of like I walked into a room and I'd be like, okay, we can do this. And it was like I was going through what Madeline was going through, the main character. I was going through what she was going through. The game is the mountain that you're climbing. That and your depression and your anxiety that everybody has is what's telling you, like, you can't beat this game. This game is too hard. This is too challenging. You can't do it. But just like the protagonist climbing the mountain, you're constantly climbing through this game, even though it's difficult. And when I finally beat it, man, I literally just like stared at the credits. I was crying. It was just this huge release. And it's like what Get Over It was trying to accomplish, but it infuriated you too much. But Celeste was just
I've never
perfect.
even associated those things together. That's interesting.
Yeah, the mountain, yeah, and it's like going through your life and dealing with this game. And I've always what's wrong with me with gaming is that I'll get to the very last level, last boss, and then I won't finish it.
I do that just have all the time. Because if it really makes me mad, I'm just like, forget it.
Well, not even just frustrated. It's just like, once it's over. And I'll never have that experience again. Like, in Breath of the Wild, I'm right before you go into Ganon's castle. In Horizon Zero Dawn, I'm right near the end of that one. Assassin's Creed. These are all games I loved and I really, really enjoyed playing, but it's like right when I get to that last level, I don't even want to go through the door. I have like just this anxiety that once it's over, and I'm not going to want to play it anymore. But then I end up fulfilling my own prophecy by not playing it to the end. So Celeste really helped me get over that. And it was such a therapeutic, cathartic experience going through that game and fighting yourself, not wanting to beat it. And finally beating it was just like, okay, I got to start my channel again. I got to start streaming again. I got to play all these games. I got to finish them. So it was an experience I'll never forget, beating Celeste for the first time.
Yeah, I'm past the mountain. I'm in the part where I don't know, like it's a little more color. You're outside. It's more colorful, and there's like these blocks that you can get on them and like move them. I don't know where I am. I'm sadly kind of skipping the cutscenes.
You fell, right?
Yeah. Did I?
Oh my god. Yeah, that it's those blocks, and it's like you've got waterfalls and it's grassy knolls, and there's those blocks with the faces on them that you can move.
No, there's no. There's just arrows on them. There's no
arrows.
faces. Yeah, there's just arrows.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I know exactly where you're at. That one was tough.
It's and you have the wind blow. Like I'm at a point now where I have to like jump onto this brick so it disappears, touch the moving block, maneuver it, jump off of it, trigger something. It's getting crazy. But yeah, like I said earlier, like I have said to myself in at least like 50 different rooms, like there's no way I can do this. And then like 5 minutes later, I'm through the room, and I'm just like, wow. I actually did it. It's crazy. And I am skipping the cutscenes. I know I shouldn't. The issue is really I shouldn't. I know, but because I asked for it for review. They never responded, which happens. It's whatever. So I just bought it. I'm loving it, but because I don't have to because I'm just playing it like just for pure pleasure. I don't have to capture any of it. I'm just like, let me just play the game. I know this is a story. I can read about it later. I just want to play the game. I don't want to do the platforming and just enjoy it. But I do know that there is a well-crafted story there. I'm just kind of skipping it.
Yeah, and I love Thor. Like, the black guy that you kind of run into every once in a while. Like, every time like, oh my god! Oh, Theo. That's his name, Theo.
You see, I didn't even correct you. I knew who you were talking about. I know his name.
Every time I would see him, I would do like the Bill Cosby, like Theo. Oh man, I love him so much.
It's special. Isn't it weird how like when you have the conversations and talk, the graphics of them like the up close is all detailed, but it's very pixelated, like the actual characters.
Oh yeah, no, it gets if you actually watch through dialogue, like their boxes move, and sometimes they come out of their boxes. In the dialogue, it's really awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely some good stuff. There is a printer in the background, but if it's that loud, then I'll tell it to be quiet.
You should probably ignore that.
Yeah, you should probably ignore that.
I'm playing too much else. I'm really looking forward to playing the second Tomb Raider. I played the first Tomb Raider at least 4 times because I bought it on both consoles and played it through twice each. And
now, when you say both consoles, you mean PS3 and PS4 or PS4? Oh, okay, wow. You really liked it, huh?
Yeah, I really, really did. And so I've had the new one just sitting there, not opened, hasn't even entered my console yet. And after playing Celeste, I just looked at it and I'm like, I need to do Tomb Raider because it was one of my favorite stories. So that's what I'm going to be streaming next. So look forward to that.
That's also a game I need to get to one of these days.
I did eventually go back and finish it. Yeah.
What, Rise or the original Tomb Raider reboot?
I finished both. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I did finish Rise. I don't
only-
remember what
I only
happened.
got
I do. Now I remember what happened. Yeah. People got killed, so including me.
Gasp.
It's funny when we talk about the movie trailer. Like there was a scene where like she hits the tree, and I was hoping like, please don't be as brutally violent as as the game was. I don't need to see that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm really hoping that and that's something that we're gonna miss on that is the little gaming nuances. Like I used to just die in Tomb Raider just to see how she would die. Like, how can I lose this? What happens if I don't press that button?
It seemed a little excessive to me, the way they would kill her. I was like, I get it. She's dead. Like she had tree branches going through her neck and eyes. Like I don't.
Oh, I loved it.
It's enough. Like we know she's dead. Like
obviously they're not going to do that in the movie because if they kill her character, it makes no sense. They'd be like, wait, what do we do? Oh, you get another life? This isn't a movie anymore.
No, that's okay. I'm going to spoil this for both of you. Okay, that's going to happen in the movie, and then actually, Angelina Jolie's going to come out and finish the rest of it.
Oh,
my god!
I'm player 2 or whatever.
See, I wish that they would have done something like that with Prince of Persia. Like they would have had him fall and then rewind time. And
then he comes back as an actual person of color.
Well, I just mean in Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, whenever he would fail, it was kind of part of the story that he would fall, and he was narrating the game, and he'd be like, wait, that's not how it happened, and then it would rewind, and then you would go again. So I was really hoping they were going to do something like that.
I don't remember that movie that much. I remember it not being anything special. So okay, yeah, that was a movie.
Yeah, I never
bothered
with it.
They had the leap of faith, but that was it.
It was better than the second Mortal Kombat, that's easy to do. And that was worse. I think the second Mortal Kombat movie might be worse than the Mario Brothers movie.
Hey, Mortal Kombat, like I said, it's endearingly awful. Like
the first one or the second
Cage
one?
Die?
Oh yeah, the second. Oh yeah, that was horrible.
Johnny Cage dies in the first 5 minutes of that movie. I'm like, okay. God.
All these, I barely...
like the mention of all these movies has made me realize I really haven't watched a whole lot of movies over my life based on video games. I don't know. The few that I have watched are just total disappointment. So why bother with most of them? Like I never saw the second MK. I've never watched more than a few minutes here or there in Super Mario Brothers.
Well, you really never saw the whole Mario Brothers movie?
No, it doesn't mean anything. Like Double Dragon, never saw that.
That was bad too.
I've seen a few minutes of Street Fighter, but what's the difference?
You really?
Neither Tomb Raider. I've seen more Uwe Boll movies than most of these.
You really never saw Street Fighter?
I've seen a little bit here and there. I've seen clips.
Weren't you at least curious when it came out? It was like 94.
I mean, sure, I guess, but I didn't go to see a whole lot of movies in the theater then. I don't now either. And then by the time it was like on video or whatever, everybody knew it was trash. So why even bother?
So I mean, I'm trying to understand. Like you have gone...
I never saw the first MK movie until like 2 years ago.
But I guess that's the thing. Like those things are best experienced when they're new.
No, I get it.
So I need you to find your nearest DeLorean, go back in time, go see these movies.
That'd be great if
and
I
we'll
really
finish the
thought
show.
That would work. I'll just break into the whoever's DeLorean it is because I'll be like, look, I'm going to go back in time. So when I'm in the past, I haven't stolen the car yet, so I'm not going to get in trouble. This will be great. And I just get in the car. It doesn't even start. I'm sitting there with a broken window. The cops just show up and haul me away. Like, this isn't how this was supposed to happen.
I mean, that scene where...
What games have you been playing?
Oh, yeah.
let's move things along. So the biggest thing is I had been mentioning Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, and I finally finished it. and I did really enjoy the game. And I've talked mostly about why already, but to reiterate, I really enjoyed in the PS1 era the strategy games that were like Final Fantasy Tactics, Vandal Hearts. Sayuki was one I really liked. Jean d'Arc, I think it was called, the one on PSP. I really like that game too.
That sounds about right.
This is very similar to those, more so than the newer strategy games like Disgaea, and I guess XCOM was a little bit like this too, but more complicated. So not overly complicated, not too much resource management and stuff like that. And it wrapped up nicely. I do think the highlight of the whole game, like the highest point, was the boss of the third world, which I guess, whether it's a spoiler or not, I mean, it's like it was like an opera singer based boss. So it was like entertaining to play, but also it was like really well structured. But even past that, there was some pretty entertaining, like sort of Rabbid cameos or whatever. So overall, I really enjoyed it, and I did just like go back and see, of the games on my top 10 list for the year that have a definitive ending, I've finally gotten through all of them now. So Friday 13th doesn't really have like a definitive ending. Gang Beast doesn't really have a definitive ending. I did finish Lost Legacy, Uncharted Lost Legacy. ARMS, whether you call it or not, I played through the matches, 10 worlds or whatever. There isn't really much to that. Rabbids, Mario Rabbids done. Wolfenstein done. Mario done. Wonder Boys finished. Road Redemption done. And thanks to Tiny, got a chicken dinner on PUBG. So that closes out my top 10 for things I needed to finish. So I guess I can be happy about that, because I'm not sure I've ever done that with any of my top 10 so far.
That's pretty good. I never went back and finished Wolfenstein. I didn't make it to my top 10, but I never had a chance to go back.
Oh, really? You should. You still should.
I still,
even if the highlights have been spoiled for you.
They all haven't, by the way. At least I don't think they have.
Okay. But, well, if not, then even more so. Even bigger reason to do it.
I guess I feel like the gameplay. I heard about how, you know, the game wasn't the best part of that game, like the actual gameplay.
Yeah, it's not,
and it was fairly obvious early that was the case.
Well, how far percentage wise do you think you got into?
Oh, I'm not far. I mean, maybe a couple of hours.
There's plenty of interesting things that happen. It's not just like, oh, you get to that one big thing. It's like, nah, there's all kinds of stuff that's just like, wow.
No, I already got to that part. Like, I walked into a room and said the one big thing, and it was a health meter, and I shot at it until all the red was gone. I'm done.
Then it turned out you're the one that died.
Go figure.
But I mean, so like once I finished that, as I mentioned already, with ARMS, it was like one of the other things that was like, well, I hadn't actually played through the single player on that, so I played through one character single player thing. There wasn't really much of a story, so I didn't think of much. But I still find that game kind of fun. I think it's more fun to play against another person than the CPU, but what have you. So after I did that, I figured, well, what else do I still got to play Zelda, and I put a lot of time into the Wii U version, but if I'm going to really finish it up, I'll probably play it on Switch. So I started that up from the beginning on Switch, and I feel like I don't want to do the beginning again. I wish I could just transfer my save and pick up from there. Like, I can't even beat a blue moblin. I just need to run away because I just fought the same group, I don't know, more than a dozen times, and I'm like, why am I doing this? I just want to get through this game. That's about it. But it also doesn't look very good, I don't think, on a full size TV. Like, on the screen itself, the Switch screen, it's fine, but like playing some of these other games, it just doesn't hold up against, like, say, Horizon Zero Dawn. Like, it just, It can't.
Ever since you got that 4K TV, you've been a graphics snob. I don't know who you are anymore.
I just got
your 4K Gunner monocles.
What would that even be? I mean, I don't know. When you close one eye, I don't know.
It'd be the best.
Rachel, what was the 4K TV you decided to go with?
Question.
I went with the 55. First off, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I went with the 55-inch LG with HDR. I had to make sure that it had HDR on it.
With the OLED one?
No, I'm not that rich, but I got as close to it as I possibly could.
Gotcha.
Nice. Does it have is it a smart TV or?
It is a smart TV. Its inaugural 4K content was Planet Earth, and it's amazing. So, very excited.
Yeah.
Can't wait to play some games on it.
Do you have a PlayStation 4 Pro?
No, I'm honestly waiting for Kingdom Hearts 3 to come out because I figure that they can't make me wait 18 years and not give me a console. So.
Well, even the original PS4 models can do HDR.
That is
just
true.
Not the 4K. So at least you got that going for you.
And for what I've seen, the HDR is really the highlight of everything. I mean, the resolution's cool, but those colors pop.
Yeah, HDR, if you're going to get either one, if you can only choose one, get HDR, for sure.
And then just get a Gunner monocle and you should be fine.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I guess you could make one by snapping a pair in half and just putting one of them in front of one eye. Put a chain on it,
gluing it to a little sticker or something, or a chain, whichever you feel like doing. Yeah. I don't know how silly you feel you need to be at that time.
I mean, silliness can conquer the world if you let it.
It kind of is right now.
No. Well, yeah.
Although it's not really funny.
How about Aaron? What have you been playing?
I have been playing. Hold on 1 second. I'm playing some more Dandara. Even though I have it for the Switch, I've been playing it on Steam primarily, and I did get unstuck from where I was before. That's an interesting game. Just the way you maneuver, the fact that you always move at a 45-degree angle. It's very different. So I mean, there's a lot of games which are quote unquote Metroid games or open exploration platformers, which is another way of just saying a Metroidvania style game. But it is very different, and I definitely am enjoying it. I just need to really sit down and put a nice chunk of hours into it so I can actually finish it. That's the goal. I'll get there one day. What else? I have Bleed 2 on here, but I think I talked about it last week. That's great. Bleed is fantastic. I think it comes out for the Switch in 2 weeks. So I don't know. It's great on PS4 and the Xbox One. So Bleed 2. The 11-year-old went back into Hello Neighbor, so I'm kind of back in there too. Even though we were very frustrated with it, we put so many hours in. We kind of ultimately.
How is that game? I played it at PAX and it didn't really seem like it was done yet.
It still isn't. And the fact that they're like, hey, we're coming off of the Switch, $39.99. It's this. It's broken. I'll be honest with you. It's broken. It doesn't explain anything to you. It's esoteric. You have to kind of play with YouTube open and then hope the video that you're looking at is of the finished version and not the year-long alphas, because we're watching a video trying to figure out how do we get the red wrench. Well, the issue is the video that we watched didn't have it in the right place because it was an alpha.
It's a totally different version.
So that was.
So you get the wrench by going to GameStop and buying one of the toys that they sell associated with the game, and then you bring it home and you forget you even have the game.
The wrench is an amiibo. You have to scan it.
So that's that. I went back into Knockout League earlier today, And
the VR Punch-Out game?
Yeah, it is so much fun, man. You know how much I love Punch-Out. I'm still stuck in that same boss, but I've made a lot more progress. And
So did you have the problem still where the first punch didn't work?
I had it initially, and then I realized I wasn't... Even though I felt like I was punching fast enough to the game, I wasn't. So I just kind of snapped my wrist and did a faster jab, and then I was fine. So the next thing is I did knock her out once, but I have to figure out the techniques that you have to switch your techniques up for when you know, as the fight continues, because some of her moves change. But well, now that I figured that out, I'll definitely know how to beat her going forward.
So this definitely uses the move controllers for.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. Yeah.
You got me intrigued. I'm interested if I ever put the helmet back on.
It is fun, man. You have a Pro too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So everything runs better on just VR with a Pro. So.
I'll just put that VR helmet on and light up a cigarette and pretend I'm in Vanquish.
I recommend that, actually. Not for longevity, but just to do it. Yeah,
as a way to go out.
You definitely would, because your face looks like an old catcher's mitt if you keep do that long enough. So, another VR game I played was Blasters of the Universe. The premise is goofy. He's a teenager. They basically have a scene as an arcade, a bunch of little kids, and one guy who's towering above them and bragging about how he's the best in the arcade. He's also way older than the rest of these kids.
Oh, is it Billy Mitchell?
It doesn't look like him or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
They probably should have done that, though, in hindsight. That would have been kind of cool. But
he just rolls up with a American flag tie dangling in your face,
throwing hot sauce at children. Buy this hot sauce.
Oh my god, I'd play that.
I would too, actually. So then, the premise is this prototype VR game called Blasters of the Universe, clearly a play on Masters of the Universe. It gets wheeled in, and he tries it out, and he puts it on, and it pulls him into the world. And then, of course, he doesn't look like Skeletor, but he kind of sounds like Skeletor within the game. Basically, the premise is now he got sucked into a game, so now he's still taunting the other people in the arcade because they're playing the game of the world that he's in, and he can do whatever he wants. But he'll say funny things because I've lost a bunch of times, but he'll say things I conquered you, and I'm totally not lonely. He just throw little things in there wow,
totally not lonely.
Exactly.
Huh?
If somebody tells you they're totally not lonely, clearly they're lonely. So, but it is like a shooting gallery kind of game. Yes, there's a lot of those with VR. But there's a lot more movement in this one. You're not walking around or anything, but you really have to. I mean, when I first started playing, I had it on hell mode, which I didn't realize it was the highest difficulty. I'm wondering why I'm getting absolutely destroyed. Once I realized I could have put it on casual, which is still challenging, I did a lot better. So I can get up to the boss of the first level, but I can't beat it yet, which is kind of frustrating me. But it is a shooting gallery kind of thing, but the enemies are all over. I mean, they will straight up flank you, and it advertises itself as a bullet hell, and it really is. Because you'll have to duck and jump, and you have to really move around in order to survive in the game. It is definitely necessary. Playing some more Bridge Constructor Portal. I'm sorry, you gonna say something?
No, I was just saying a noise of acknowledgement.
Was it an agreement or? I'm just messing with you. Do you play VR games? Are you into VR at all?
Oh yeah, but I have a folder on my PlayStation specifically just for VR. But I generally go for the stupid, ridiculous ones, Catlateral damage, Count Plus. I tried to do Resident Evil 7. I really did, but I can't. I have too many precious things in my apartment that would trying to run away.
Oh no, I'm too. When Resident Evil 7 came out, I tried it that night for about 20 minutes. I didn't make it to the house. First of all, it works, but I don't want to vomit, so I was like, no, I can't. I don't want to be.
I have an area big enough where I can like spin around. Like I don't ever use those buttons to spin around. Like I can actually spin all the way around in my living room. So I was just doing that. And when I got to like the first boss, and I'm trying to keep this mad possessed woman away from me from, killing me with a hacksaw, and I have nothing but my bare hands. And, I knocked over one of my figurines, my very expensive figurines, and I was like, nope, I can't do this. My heart rate, I don't need to die.
No, I don't do the scary stuff. Like I have nope. It's not even about not want to admit it. I'm just shook. So I'm not doing it. It's like that horse from Ren and Stimpy. No, sir, I don't like it. Nope. Yeah, but goofy stuff is good too. Like Catlateral damage. That's definitely a fun one.
Play Accounting Plus.
Which one?
Accounting Plus.
Oh, it's made by the same guy who made Stanley Parable.
No, Rick and Morty.
Oh, okay. The box art is like a rock or a potato or something. Is that?
Yeah, I think so. I think what you're seeing is the guy he's called Tree Guy.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't played that one.
You need to play. I don't know if it's on PC. I'd be surprised if it wasn't, but as far as I know, it's just on PlayStation. That's
the only one I have. So, and I know there are solutions to connect the PSVR to a PC to play Steam VR, but I keep saying I'm going to do it. I just haven't bothered. So I'll get there.
Yeah, if you're going to play any VR game, please play Accounting Plus. It's absolutely amazing.
Okay, I will check it out. I think I requested it, but they never got back to me. So I wanted to. I was there.
Okay.
They let me down. Playing more Bridge Constructor Portal on the Switch. That's a fun game. I cleared the first area, and now they have the turret set up, and it's getting real. So, and you have to set stuff up to knock the turrets down, because then if you get in, basically you want to just get the people who work for, what's the company's name again? I don't know. You want to get them in a vehicle to drive off the level or whatever. And of
Aperture Science.
Aperture Science. There you go. I don't know. I couldn't think of it. But of course, the turret does what a turret does. As soon as it sees them, shoots them, the car blows up, people fall out, and you lose. So, but it's good. I like Bridge Constructor games, and the Portal stuff definitely makes it cool. For some reason, I just wanted to play some Child of Eden. Of course, you can't play with Kinect 2.0 on Xbox One. But that game is still pretty cool.
Can't you just play with the controller?
Yeah, you can. It's still a cool game, though. I mean, I did enjoy it with the original Kinect quite a bit. But, I mean, you lose a little bit, but still fun.
I mean, any rhythm game, I'm there.
Yeah, although, I don't know what it's like. I think the story is like a girl's trapped in the internet or something. I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Let's see, we talked about Celeste already. Played a bunch of Crackdown with Mike J, and I'm thinking I'm importing my old 360 save, but I forgot that when I beat Crackdown, I beat it on a different gamer tag, a different account, so that save is just gone. So yeah, I started that, and I noticed his character was 4 feet taller than me. I'm like, why is his character so huge? Because he had maxed everything out basically. So,
did you even have a save on the cloud? I mean, that game came out before cloud saves on 360.
Yeah, I never went back and really played it on the second account. So no, I basically started from scratch. But by the time we stopped playing, I had gotten 100 agility orbs or something. So I was in a much better spot when we finished.
Yeah, it's not a tremendously long game to do
very
it all
repetitive though. I mean, you basically just drive around shooting at very stereotypical gangs and throwing grenades at people sitting in a corner and not moving. So
yeah, some of those scenarios where you're launching rockets through towers, the physics get real weird and things move in stranger ways than you might think.
Yeah.
When you sent out that thing the other day, I guess it was like that. That's an offer anybody can go for, where you can buy it digitally for like $8, or was that like a thing you had like a exclusive deal on or something like that?
That, my friend, is called a hookup.
Okay, so when I said, "Hey, don't worry, I've already got the game," I figured, well, hey, why not go take a look and see what it looks like?
Yep.
Well, the disc that I have, I had bought from PlayAsia way back in the day, and US Xbox One looks at that and goes, I don't know what that is. So I'm not even going to call that a DVD.
Well, here's the thing.
So,
what I forgot about is, I looked it up actually. There was 1 month of games with gold that I forgot to get all the games. That happens to be August of 2013, because I know I did not download Dead Rising 2, which I was so annoyed because I went to go get it and realized it was too late. Also, that same month was Crackdown on Games with Gold. So I forgot to get Crackdown as well. So I would have even had to do it had I just downloaded it for free.
Man.
That's probably what I did as well, because I don't think I have either of those games on my digital account.
Yeah. So if you need that, I can get it to you if you need it.
Nah, it's all right. I'll wait for Crackdown 3. It's fine. Or play it on 360 if I really want to play it again.
You're not gonna play it on 360.
Nope.
And it just came out backward. It just came out on the backward compatibility list this week, and it's also one of the games, 360 games that got some extra attention for the Xbox One. It looks fantastic.
The X enhanced.
The X. It looks fantastic. But the cartoony style helps as well. But it really does look good. The one issue, and Mike J had this as well, every couple of minutes, it would just pause, hard. It would just stop. Literally the game just stops running.
That doesn't sound good.
So
yeah, not good at all.
And I did notice that, Major Nelson put up a video saying, hey, if you want, you can have the priority be graphics or performance. So apparently you can go into the settings and tweak it for performance. And I wonder if you do that, will that fix the... It's not even a frame rate thing. It's literally you're jumping and you just pause in midair. And everything just stops. And it's probably a good 5-6 seconds. And then it resumes. And it's wow, this is kind of weird. But it's pretty cool. Almost done here. Timothy versus the Aliens came out on PS4. The premise is, the game is black and white. Kind of has that old black and white Humphrey Bogart kind of music playing this, and there's not that much audio, not that many songs they wrote for this thing, so the same music kind of over and over again. You're a gangster named Timothy, and everything, like I said, everything is black and white except the aliens are either orange, green, or like a purple color. That's the only thing of color in the game is the aliens. And it's weird because it looks kind of nice. It controls well enough. There's no voiceovers. And it's almost like they just ran out of time. Because when you first get into a conversation with people, they'll kind of grunt or emote. I guess they'll emote audibly. I don't know.
Sort of like Nintendo's games.
Yeah, but they don't do repeat. It's not like a Banjo-Kazooie where they go. It's just they'll go. And when you first talk to them, and then it's just dead silence, and it's why would they not have put voiceovers in this thing? It's weird. And I finished it. It's not very long. It's not. I can see the potential. I can see what they were going for. If it was longer, maybe a little more to do. Because it does kind of get repetitive, but it's not it's not that long, so you can't count it against it too much. It's just it's kind of weird. I've never played anything quite like it, but it's a 3D. It says it's an open world, but you can only do the one thing that is your current objective at any given time. And that's not really open. You know what I mean? So yeah, you can drive around, but you only go to the place you're supposed to go to, essentially.
That sounds like Mafia 2.
Oh, well. Considerably less at launch than Mafia 2 was. And there was a bug where I actually hit the developer up on Facebook, and I was telling him, like, I ran into it where if I walked past like a locked door and didn't try to open it, then when I got to the key, I couldn't pick it up. It's weird.
Yeah, something wasn't finished there.
Yeah, so and they were. I told them, they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll look into it. We're sorry that happened." They were like, "No, prove it." I was like, "No, it was consistent. Like if I walk past the locked door, oh here's the key. I can't pick up the key at all until I've tried the door first." And it's like, why? So, but it's checkpoints where you are and saves your progress pretty frequently. So if I restarted, I pretty much was in the same exact spot, and I'll just make sure I check the door or the lock gate first. Then I could always grab the key and keep moving. And then I played a couple of Master System games, Jungle Book.
On the Super Nintendo? Like no, the old school drum?
Nope, the Sega Master System.
Okay.
And this is a European release because of Nintendo did a lot of illegal things back in the day. They basically told third-party developers, hey, you make a game for us, it's only for us. And in a place like the US, where they had a stranglehold over the market then, but in Europe and Brazil, they didn't have it like that. So there were a lot more games that came out, like tons more, hundreds more, outside the US for that system. So, including the other game I played, which is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. And it's weird because, like, you'll pick up the whip, but you only get like a certain number of times you can use it. I picked up the whip thinking, I have the whip now, I'm Indiana Jones. I can only whip like 4 times and then it disappeared. Why would it disappear? Like I'm holding it. Like, am I throwing it? Like if I'm throwing it, then I wouldn't even have 4 instances to use it. I would have 1. I'd throw it and that's it. It's weird.
Right.
So, and Scramble Spirits, which is a vertical shoot 'em up. Pretty tough, but fun. Kind of a hidden gem. Pretty good game.
Cool.
And I think I've rambled on long enough about the games I played. Just a couple of topics that we can just talk about real briefly. I'm sure you all heard the president of this country blame violent video games for the unfortunate occurrence that just happened in Parkland,
that
Florida.
argument never makes any sense to me. I mean, Europe gets the exact same video games.
The whole world actually plays these games.
I mean, except for Australia. But, like, Europe and all of Asia, they all get the same video games as we do.
Yeah.
I don't understand why that's the thing that everybody wants to focus on.
Oh, because it's not focusing on what the real issue is. I mean, it's like this. Like, quick remember, it was the 90s. Wasn't it the 90s or early 2000s when there was that horrible mass killing in Australia? And then they really changed. They changed a lot of their gun laws.
That also has to do with, their ancestors being criminals.
No.
Mentally unstable criminals.
I don't know if I want to go there, but yes, Britain did send prisoners and criminals to Australia. Well,
I mean, as far as the argument for violence in video games, I feel like, and to be devil's advocate, it's not, or at least as close to devil's advocate as I'm comfortable as being.
Understood.
But not so much the violence in video games, but the lack of the opposite in our society as far as media consumption. I mean, like I said, I've been around kids now. I'm seeing what little kids are watching, and I mean, where's Mr. Rogers? Where are the shows that teach kids what to do with their anger, how to care for other people, how to care for themselves? Where are the shows that show natural interactions between people where people do get angry or people do have a conflict, a natural, not overblown with explosions conflict, but just a natural conflict and kids learning how to deal with that. I think there's too little of that, at least that I've seen. Aaron, maybe you can chime in on that since you have a kid. But I think that it's not so much the presence of violence, but the absence of mental care and teaching kids to care about themselves and others.
Well, yeah, definitely a lack of sympathy and empathy is a huge issue. And to be honest, like the PBS and NPR are both like trying to fight to stay alive. I heard that NPR is adding a conservative show because they want to stay alive. You know, it's just.
I mean, I think it's important to.
But,
I think it's important that we don't swing the pendulum too far to the left or to the right. We don't want to become an echo chamber. I kind of agree with what the guy from Google was saying. Like, I understand what he was saying about working in a very leftist environment and not being able to express your opinions as freely if you think against the masses. I mean, we've all been there. The leftists were there just not too long ago. You know, we were there. And now it's like the pendulum swung back, and now it's all about, if you're not liberal, you're not sane. It feels like in some groups. So, and I'm speaking from a very liberal leftist side. You know, I have friends who are very conservative. My mom all she does is share Fox News.
Oh gosh,
stuff on her Facebook. That's my mom. That's what I was raised with. But I don't love her any less, and I think that we need to remember that.
So, yeah,
I just think we need to remember that political opinions, people feel just as strongly about their political opinions as you do about yours. And
they do. Oh boy, do they!
But we shouldn't treat those people any different than regular people, because then we're just perpetuating the hate. We're just perpetuating the exclusion and how we felt when we were on that side. It's not fun for anybody, and I think we just need to let that part of it go, in my opinion.
Well, the reason is... Hold on one second. What was I saying? No, I see what you're saying. It's just everybody does certainly have a perspective and sees their side as the side. It's just that, well, I guess what you see today is when people are defending literally anything is what really bothers me. It's like people have gotten to the point where they can't even admit that something is wrong.
Yeah,
like
objectively, everybody has their line, and what people care about.
Some people used to have a line. They don't have one anymore.
People care about are different than. Oh my gosh! Be quiet, kitty. What people care about is they're all different.
Yeah,
everybody cares about something that's different.
I guess to bring it back to the violence in games thing, it's you know, we dealt with this before, obviously, in the 90s.
With Grand Theft Auto, yeah.
Oh no, this is before that. This is Mortal Kombat, Night Trap. Yeah, this is well before all that. Well, that's why you have the ESRB, because members of Congress are like, hey, if you don't self-regulate, then we're going to come in and we'll regulate you. So that's when the early form of the ESRB got started. But it's just, if you look at the common denominators, like, yes, you made the point to say all these games are all over the world. They are. But a lot of these other countries, there's still violence. People still get killed. Horrible things happen. But people don't have access to the types of weapons that people here have. And it's not to say that people elsewhere wouldn't want to get an assault rifle and murder a whole bunch of people, but they can't really do it. At least not as easily. So blaming games isn't easy, like, oh, it's the games. Oh, no, it's not. Because if it was the games, it would be widespread. If it was just the games, and clearly it's not. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that the government should, could, or even has the resources to go by everyone's house and pick up their AR or whatever and take an AR-15. No, that's not going to happen, nor should it happen. You bought it, you have it, you own it, whatever. But
there was the Trump supporter subreddit kind of imploded on itself this morning. I don't know if you are on Reddit or know about it, but
if I'm on Reddit, I've never gone on that Reddit.
Well, Trump said something about, let's take all of the guns and worry about due process later.
He did say that. And that shows his fundamental misunderstanding of kind of everything. Well, he said that, and his supporters kind of started this whole civil war because their subreddit has a very strict policy of if you go against Trump, you're just banned. So it's called tolerance.
You have these really long time posters, and pure red blood supporters of Trump are just getting the ban hammer because they're like, no, I'd like to see him try to take my gun. And they're like, oh man, it was crazy to see.
Well, he flip-flops because
explosion.
He sat there. He sat at that meeting. He also left out one of the senators from Florida who had been talking about gun control from a bipartisan meeting. So he's sitting like right next to Dianne Feinstein, I believe, and he actually said, and I don't know if he said it like, I mean, he's ignorant. There's so many things that somebody in his position should either know or somebody should be telling you. And he basically said like, well, people are getting these guns off the black market. They're like, no. Dianne Feinstein was like, no, people can go to Walmart and buy an AR-15. They're not black market gun. Like, yes, you can buy guns on black market, but people are getting these things at Walmart. And he actually said it like he was making a point that the guns are illegal. No, I mean, yes, some are, but no, people have
There's
legally.
There's like these memes going around now about how easy it is to get a gun,
and it's almost like he called the meeting. How can you be that dumb? Like, I don't. But he flip flops, so he chastised a bunch of members of Congress by telling them, "Hey, you're afraid of the NRA," and it's like, well. I mean, to some degree, yes. A lot of people are. They know if they don't get that rating from the NRA, they're not, funding, perception. They'll have a lot of issues getting reelected. But that's the thing. He says that. Well, we all know he says whatever he needs to say given his audience. Now he's saying, "Hey, I'm for bumping the age up for people being able to buy an assault rifle." But I'm sure you already heard that, Dick's Sporting Goods isn't selling them anymore. Walmart's raising the age. There was another retailer, I forgot who it was, who was changing one of their policies or whatever based on what had happened and the discussion that's been going on. So, yeah. We're kind of all over the place. So this is really just started with the whole video game aspect of it. But, of course, there's a lot of things that are very much directly related to it as well.
Right.
And it feels almost kind of silly to go into these other things because they're not really as important. Like the fact that if you download the Yakuza 6 demo, apparently some people got the full game.
Really? That's cool.
But then they got the rights revoked. It was on PS4, so I guess they didn't have it for very long.
Right.
And then I guess about a year from now, PlayStation Plus will no longer be giving out Vita and PS3 games. To which, I mean... Okay.
Yeah. I've been thinking, whenever I do get a Vita, I'll probably have a few games to play on it, but I don't really see myself getting a Vita.
If you don't have a Vita now, you're probably just not going to own a Vita.
Yeah. I can't carry on my Switch and a Vita.
The Vita was great, man. I mean, it still is. It just didn't get the support. But there's some great stuff out for it. I mean, the Vita could have been what the Switch is now, but it just, yeah. Yep. Didn't get that kind of love. Mike, any thoughts?
About the Vita PS3 specifically kind of thing?
No, about teachers with guns in schools.
No, I don't have any thoughts to share about that.
There's a meme going around about if the teacher from Madeline had a gun, the movie would be over very quickly. I can't remember what her name was.
Like the old French, the books.
Trunchbull. Mrs. Trunchbull, the crazy principal who swung the girl around by her ponytails. You don't remember that movie? Girl, psychic powers.
You're thinking Matilda.
Matilda, thank you.
Matilda, yeah.
They're like, imagine if Miss Trunchbull had a gun. That movie would be over quick.
Yeah.
I don't know how you expect people to get paid less than $30,000 a year, teach our youth, and then also handle a gun.
It's not. It doesn't make. Yeah, there's a lot of
I've seen
problems with
teachers
that.
not be able to operate an overhead projector. Now you want to give them a weapon?
People are overworked and underpaid. Like, there's more responsibility. Like, that's especially given the investigation that's going on to people who are in law enforcement, who, well, at least one person we know for sure who could have done more and did nothing. So, yep, the times in which we live. All right, why don't we wrap up?
Who first?
You. Shout outs, plugs, any of those good things.
Oh, well, a shout out to my boyfriend, Ed. His name is Ed Harris, just like the actor. But anyway. He's
why is
listening
that
right
funny?
now. So.
I don't know why it's funny. Just
you know the guy from Westworld?
I don't watch Westworld, but I know Ed Harris is. But
yeah, Ed Harris. He's great. Anyways, hi, babe. I know you're listening. My show will be up and running soon. Twitch.tv/Animorph 23. I'll be streaming the new Tomb Raider game shortly, so that'll be super fun. Hope to see you guys there.
all right, I'll have all your information in the show notes. Mike.
Yay!
I do, as always, encourage people who are eligible to donate blood, and for those who have pets to have them spayed or neutered. I don't remember where it was. It was a guest, strange related thing to that request, but I forget who this was. Oh, it's like the creator of, I think it's called Last Space or something, which is like a new TBS animated show based on a YouTube animated thing from like the last 10 years. I'd never heard of it. Anyway, I think this was the guy talking about how they had two rabbits, and the one had some. No, they had two rabbits, both males, and the one had some kind of like scabs and stuff. So they took it to the vet. The vet takes a look at the thing and says, "Yeah, you've got another rabbit." Yeah. Oh, and they're both male. Okay. Yeah, I know what's going on here. And he turns the rabbit over and he looks, and the rabbit has no testicles. He said, "Your other rabbit ate the testicles off of this rabbit."
Well, what?
And I'm like,
what?
Did it volunteer for this? Like, what is it?
Well, and they said the deal is sometimes you put two male rabbits together, and the one becomes the dominant and creates a scenario where that one is the only one that could possibly procreate by removing the other's ability to do so. And the solution was to just neuter the other rabbit. And that's
pretty intense. Like hey,
that's ill, man.
I'm gonna take your balls.
Well, the first thought I had after I mean, my jaw like fell on the floor.
Like, listen here, only one of us is going to impregnate something that's not even here right now.
That's not even there.
But if it was, it'd be one of us.
They made a point of pointing that out. But I started to wonder, how in the hell I mean, I guess it's an instinct or whatever, but how the hell do rabbits even know where any of this comes from and how to, like, dismantle the other's ability to... I have no idea.
And, like, did it, like it did that while it was asleep? Like, how...
I don't know.
I mean, that's horrible.
It sounds terrible. It sounds like a terrible thing that obviously must happen naturally, like without it being caged up necessarily.
You know, for a second I thought you were gonna say that like somehow the one male rabbit became female. Because you know there are some little cockroaches,
some species that do that. I don't
frogs.
know. Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of mammals doing that, but
no, I'm
not. Anyway, I just considering how many times I've advocated for the spaying and neutering of pets,
and you have many times.
I've never thought of someone's pet doing it to the other pet. with I don't know. It was one of the strangest stories I'd ever heard, so I figured. I don't know.
Listen here, I want the big carrot, and I'm gonna prove it to you. You know, what?
And then in the end, I mean, the outcome was the same for both of them. So
it was like a Twilight Zone episode.
It was almost just like I have all the time in the world, and then the glasses break.
Oh, that story from Scary Stories where two old men are in an old folks' home, and the one guy has a window view, so the other guy like takes his cane and like knocks his pills out the window or something, so he dies, and then he gets his bed, and then he looks at where the window was. It's a brick wall. It's like craziness. Is there a brick wall involved with the rabbits or no?
Not that I know of.
What about pills and a cane?
They might have used some kind of anesthesia on the rabbit when the vet took care of the neutering of the other one. Maybe not pills, but similar effect.
Well, you get a rabbit to swallow a pill.
So there you go. A derailed, elongated story right at the end of the show, just to make sure it doesn't end in a timely manner.
It wasn't awkward either, at all.
Not even for the rabbits.
Well. Alright, well, if Tiny was here, he would definitely mention Extra Life. If you go to GameEnthus.com, you'll see a link to our team page for 2018, Team GameEnthus Extra Life. So if you want to join the team or support any one of us monetarily, that will be okay. And by supporting us, I mean, obviously, you're supporting one of the hospitals that we're raising money for.
And by saying that would be okay, you mean that would be excellent.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. That's a better way of putting it. Yes, that would be great. So, Rachel, thank you for coming back on the show. It's a pleasure. Hopefully the next time that you're on, there won't be quite the gap of years in between.
Yeah, no problem. It was great seeing you guys again. It's awesome being on the show.
Good. Glad that you're here. And shout out to Tyrone, Keon, and Goose. Sending messages, voicemails. We appreciate that. Tyrone, I did not address your hint. Of course, you already know. So I'll be reaching out to you shortly. So, yeah, I think that's it. All of Rachel's stuff will be in the show notes. If you want to watch her play that's Rise of the Tomb Raider, right? The second one?
Yes, Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Are there dinosaurs in this one?
I have zero idea about anything that's in that game, so I'm very excited to play
People
it.
do get killed, though. That much I can tell you.
Laura will definitely be getting killed on my playthrough, for sure.
Well, yeah.
Intentionally. Make it sound like you're just going to nosedive. Just to do it. I like to fail on the cutscenes when stuff gets really interesting because I want to see how she dies. So I do that. See, I always enjoy the non-scripted deaths more. Like when like something seems to just screw up and then the ragdoll gets like blown out of proportion. Like this was not planned, but that was funny looking.
I wonder if something like that will happen. But yeah, I'm really excited for the playthrough. It's gonna be good.
I just looked at my copy of Tomb Raider for the Sega Saturn. I should play that version for about 5 minutes and then go, no, I'm good.
No, it's bad.
Yeah. Well, Bug is next to it, so I mean, pick your poison.
Well, they can duke it out for one of the least fun games you own.
And then there's Croc. Yeah, I'm gonna stop looking over there. All right. If you want to leave us a voicemail, you can always call us at 202-573-7686 or drop us an email at podcast@GameEnthus.com or any one of our Twitter handles at GameEnthus.com or even Aaron at GameEnthus.com. So, I think that's it. There's more stuff up on YouTube, a couple of reviews, so check those out. Leave a comment, like it. That always helps. I'm rambling. I guess that's it. Lord willing, we should be back next week. I don't think Tiny will, right?
I believe he is not scheduled to be on.
He's not scheduled to be on, so we'll have to put a hidden camera microphone on him so he can be on, whether he knows it or not. So.
Oh, it could be like a pocket dial. It'll be great.
A 2-hour pocket dial.
We can hear random sounds once in a while.
I'm excited now. Yeah. All right, Rachel. Any final words before we get out of here?
Bye.
That's very apropos. Yep, right on theme.
No, seriously. Thanks, guys, for having me on again. Look forward to another one.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Very cool.
All right.